Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of No Title Needed. I am your co-host Cynthia Collins.
And I am Scott Osborne.
And here we are. And today our guest is Mary Cox. Mary, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it is a pleasure to meet you.
We're glad to have you.
Now, do you know Mary?
Well, now I do.
Yeah, me too. Same here. Now we know you.
Well, and I know your family, so I kind of feel like we've known each other.
We've had a long history. I don't know if you heard about the lake house, but I believe that was the first interaction between the two families.
Yes.
And, they bought my grandfather's lake
I
house
even heard
on Lake
about
Max, Kentucky.
the lake house. That sounds like a miniseries.
It could have been, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
But let's get right off the bat. Here it is, right here, Indy's Childl. Mm-hmm. You are the owner.
I am.
Here, it says it right here, 40 years.
In November, yep.
Excellent.
So,
Fantastic.
And you own, what it is you told me you have other publications, not just Indy's Childl.
Right.
So, obviously 40 years ago, you started Indy's Childl. But before that, how did you start this publishing company? Did you start it solely?
Actually, my mom.
Okay.
So I was right out of college, 22-ish. I didn't have children. I didn't even have a husband. I didn't have a husband. I didn't even have a boyfriend. And my mom came to me and said, I have the best idea. I went to Austin, Texas, and came across this magazine called Austin Childl. And she just loved it. And she read it, and she was like, this is great. What a great resource for parents. We should do this here in Indy.
Yeah.
So not having anything to do at the moment, I said, okay, sounds good to me.
Right. So she put you in charge of this.
Yes.
With her company.
And so basically at the beginning, we didn't really know what we were doing, but it was all self-taught, self-learning, and I've just grown to love it so much. And we've started new magazines and...
So, what else do you have?
Well,
besides
I
Indy's
do.
Childl?
I have Cincinnati and Dayton.
Oh my gosh.
And then we do a lot of ancillaries, like we do Indy's Baby. We do Indy Grands, which I'm bringing back, and that's because I have grandchildren now. So we started a magazine it was basically targeting women in their 50s and 60s, kind of younger grandmothers.
Yeah.
So, two in Ohio and one here. Is that? Did it start in Ohio or did it
No,
start with
here.
Indy? Okay.
It started here. But Cincinnati's not too far behind.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very
So
cool.
it's kind of nice because we can pretty much match up the issues. Like we do the same articles, but we change it up to be local.
Oh, right.
all
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we do a
Cool.
maternity article, we'll be interviewing people in Cincinnati,
Right.
or we'll be interviewing people here in Indy.
Right.
That makes it kind of cool.
Yeah.
And also
Keeps
a
the local
connected
flavor, but
element.
yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, it is kind of a tri-state here, like you know, you have Ohio, Indy, Kentucky,
Illinois.
Like maybe I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to
Chicago.
put them in
Yeah,
there,
I
Scott.
like it. I
Stop
like
being
it.
so bossy. So in these, what do you focus on? Is it a long, Is
If you go through our magazine, we do have some serious topics that we tackle, but for the most part, it's all about fun. It's just like how to make the most with your family, things to do. I mean, people turn to us and our website. We have thousands of listings of different things to do for free, or if you want,
right for the family.
Yes.
Okay, with your kid,
Is
obviously
that one of
with
those,
your
like,
child,
with your kids.
Is that categorized on the website, free or?
We have a lot of
yeah.
110 things to do for free this weekend with your kids.
That's fun.
So-
That's great.
Yeah.
and then of course you have ads in there,
And that's what pays for it. Is
of
our
course it does with any
advertisers and
publication or
sponsors.
with anything. Ads pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like the focus to be? Is there, you know what I'm saying? There's probably a wide range of things you have in this magazine. Like you say, free things to go to, paid things to go to with your family. But with the articles, what do you like to focus in on?
Well, I'll start with the one that I was just telling you about earlier. So in September of this year, my employee that's been with me since she was 22 and she's now 38, she called me and said, Mary, I've got some terrible news. And I said, what? And she said, I have breast cancer. And she's 38. So I was she was like a daughter to me. I was so upset.
Yeah.
Well, a week later, after we were discussing it with our team, we're like, how are we going to handle this? And my daughter, who also works full-time for me and is our web publisher, she calls me up, or she came to my house, and she says, and she was kind of crying, and I said, what? And she goes, I have breast cancer. I'm like, how could I have two people on my team when we have a pretty small team
Oh my God.
have breast cancer the exact same, or they're diagnosed 1 week apart.
Right.
And they're in their 30s when you don't get screenings because they don't.
Right.
So this month we launched a 3-part series on when breast cancer hits close to home.
Okay.
So that's why I brought, it's the January issue, but sometimes we'll take topics that are close to our hearts.
Right.
And, we'll put them out there. 'Cause our audience is pretty much 30 and 40-year-olds, and they need to really pay attention
Yeah.
to, everyone's going to be fine, but
I
it's just.
think that's great.
Yeah.
I think there can never be enough information on breast cancer or women's cancer.
But we do a lot of women's
know,
health, just the
yeah.
different screenings at different ages. We do some
Yeah.
mental health, but for the most part, we're all about fun.
Okay.
It's like how to have, where to go, what to do.
This is
That's just knowing the audience in that
this is
regard.
like
Yeah.
a family affair.
Yeah.
This publishing company. Your mother, your daughter.
And the funny thing is like we're on a trip to Florida. I just mentioned that to you earlier.
Right.
And I'm meeting up with my best publisher friends. So the Chicago parents going with me.
Yeah.
Detroit and then South Florida.
So it was kind of grassroots starting this because
Totally.
it's very personal. Mm-hmm. And which,
We were one of the first parenting publications. I think Austin was the first. And we were
okay.
right for sure in the top 5.
Oh.
And now there's like hundreds of them.
Right.
You were born here.
Mm-hmm.
You're Hoosier
Born and raised. Yep.
in Indianapolis. Or-
Indianapolis.
Okay.
North side of Indianapolis.
What made your mother start a publishing company?
Well,
and that must have been
a great question.
That must have been what was that in the 70s when she started that, or
it
even
was
before that?
It was 1984.
Okay, so in the 80s. Okay.
Yeah, our first issue was November, but we kind of started it and I graduated in May of '84.
Okay.
So basically,
Right.
that's instead of going out and getting a traditional job, I'm like, okay, I guess I could try this.
That's right when you're at that age.
But
of,
what made
yeah.
this woman, your mother, start this? I'm going to start a publishing
Well,
company.
okay, so my mom, who I don't know if Scott would know this or not, but my mom is Barbara Wynn, and she is the tennis guru of Indy.
Okay.
So she started, she had the North Central tennis program, and she was just a person
That's
that knows.
where I took lessons
Yeah.
growing up my entire.
Did you ever know who she was?
I think I did actually. Yeah, and sorry to interrupt, but yeah,
No,
go
but
on.
so she was just very connected in the city, and she knew everyone. And my dad was a developer at the time, so he knew your grandfather, and they had the funds to be able to do this. Of course, I had no money to put into the pot, so
Right.
she's like, "You do all the work, and and we'll
You do all the
bankroll
work,
this for now."
22-year-old, of course. You had to.
18, right?
No, it's
No,
22.
22.
Oh,
She
sorry.
was out of
Yeah.
college.
Oh, okay.
You do
yep.
all the grunt work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. You had to pay your dues. That's the way
Exactly.
it used to be. You had to work and pay your dues before you had to work your way up. In
it
anything.
was-
How else are you gonna learn?
In anything.
You know?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. And there are people now. I sound like some old woman. These
Well,
kids,
they don't wanna learn.
They don't.
Well, I sound
they
like an
don't.
old woman
Everybody wants
with
quick.
my-
Everybody wants fast.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be on the
Right.
top immediately. That's not the way it works. You know, you have to put the work in. You know. So let me ask you this: you were a major tennis player,
Well,
were you?
I was pretty much forced into it. No, I love tennis. It was great. And like I was telling Scott, now it's turned me into a big pickleball player.
Yeah.
But yes,
as well.
I
Me
started.
too with the pickleball.
Yeah, I started at age 4 playing tennis, and I would have to get up I remember twice a week we'd get up. My mom would wake me up at 4:30 in the morning, and it would be freezing and dark, and I was like, no, I don't want to go. And anyway, I did love it, but I didn't like getting up at 4:30 in the morning.
What kid does
But
though?
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
I feel like that is very common in most youth athletics. Is the fact that they're doing it almost as a training regimen for you to better yourself in the in
Right.
that
Yeah.
experience of
Well-
because I played hockey and swimming and that was both of them were 4:30.
Well, like
but-
before school, after school. So you're before school, so then you're after school, or then you're
2 days.
competing.
Yeah.
Yep,
You know?
I was on the North Central State women's tennis team or
God.
girls tennis
Alright.
team, and
Oh
I think
my
we won
God.
state through that. I think we won it. It was only
Yeah.
sophomore to senior
Yeah.
back then.
Okay. So freshmen didn't get to play they have their own
Freshmen were
freshman
at
teams.
Northview.
Wow.
Right.
So now you moved into the
Yeah.
pickleball because you're
Wow,
like, I got to
right.
slow down a little bit. It's
Well,
not as, not as
actually, I have a lot of
strenuous.
friends that still play tennis. I just
Yeah.
was burnt. It was just like, this is the new thing for me to learn.
Right,
And
right.
I enjoy kind of learning.
Yeah.
That's what I find so challenging and fun about pickleball.
Yeah. Anything at pickleball in these? Do you have put
We
anything
have.
about pickleball?
We do,
in
and
the
it's amazing
issues?
how they are really targeting kids now. The place where I play, they're having all these kids programs and kids camps, and I think pickleball is gonna be a huge.
Yeah.
Development, but it started as something for the, an older
It started like
generation.
everyone thought,
Yeah.
oh, if you play pickleball because you're 60,
Right.
Right.
But now it's like really trickling down to. I mean,
Yes.
I've seen 4-year-olds playing pickleball.
Well, my niece plays, and she's in her 20s, and they go nuts about it. Her and her
Yeah.
fiance, they're gaga goo goo about it.
Yeah.
What? Let me ask you this, and this is when this started. This is. You say it's about fun, but you do have serious articles in there. What was the purpose? Was it to just help mothers?
I think the
Was it to-
purpose
you know
of
what
it
I
was
mean, young
really like
mothers
to take
or,
Indianapolis or to take a local community, and we're like exploring that entire community. We're interviewing experts in the city. It's really local. It's a resource guide for parents for all their local needs.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say, yeah, we've been doing it 40 years, and I lost my train of thought on what I was going to say there.
It's okay. That
Sorry
happens
about
all the
that.
time. That's every day.
Yeah,
Me.
that's me too.
But yeah, it is like I was saying to help a young family.
Exactly. And like I said, when I started the magazines, I didn't have kids. I didn't even have a husband. But
Right.
shortly after starting the magazines, I met my husband.
Yeah, but
And
you were
then
a kid,
I was a kid. I mean,
and you
there's
had a
might be
mother
the-
There's
and a
a
That might be
father,
the best resource
and you had
at
a
the
mother and a
time.
father.
There's an
I mean,
old interview of me when we first started the magazine, and they came to our office, and I think it was on maybe NBC. Well,
The
local,
affiliate?
the
Yeah,
affiliate.
yeah.
They came to the office, and I watched it. They sent it to me just recently, and I sounded like I can't even believe that people could take me seriously. My voice was so high, and I was like, "This is where we do this." So yeah, it's
my God.
yeah. I've grown up a lot through all this
sure.
too.
Yeah,
Very
well, that's
cool.
part of it. And the magazine, you've grown, and the magazine has grown. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with our guest, Mary Cox. We are back. Hi, welcome back to No Title Needed with our guest, Mary Cox. Mary is the owner of Indy's Childl. It was 40 years old in November 2024. 40 years, and I would think that's a good long time. But like, what's next? How do you keep up with? There are. First thing, there's a lot of publications, but second thing, that's kind of going away too.
Right.
I slightly disagree with you there.
Okay.
I do agree with you that some of them are going away, but I think
Yeah.
these niche publications,
Yeah.
like a parenting magazine, it's very relaxing to sit down with a copy of
I
the
agree with
magazine
you. I agree with
as
you.
opposed to being.
That's
'cause-
what I like.
Yes.
But that's just what I see. You know what I mean?
So,
Yeah.
With
so-
a topic that's so relatable, it can definitely be something that can bring you in and calm you down. That makes absolute
right.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I just hired a guy, which we don't have any men on our staff, so we do now, and he is 24, so he's young. So I like to hire younger people that really know they can figure out. It's just like I compare it to skiing. Like if you take me snow skiing right now, I might be a little bit more nervous about going down the hill than when I was 24 or 30, when they'll just jump on the skis and take off. So I have a lot of young people that work for me. Pretty much everyone is under 40. So I'm the old lady in the group. But
Who better,
but
fresh out of childhood?
I don't want to. Yeah, I feel like sometimes. But I don't want to sell the magazines. I love it. I love them so much that I want to always have them. And my daughter works for me, like I said
Yeah,
earlier. And
yeah.
so I'm hoping we can just keep carrying this on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I start stepping back a little bit more so I can play more pickle.
It is a little bit of
Yeah.
a family business too, so that's
Yeah,
something
That's
you
what
can
we
rely
said.
on.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Exactly. So where are these? Indy's Childl. Talk.
They're
Tell
all
us.
over the city. One of our landmark places is that exit entrance ramp of the Children's Museum.
Oh, well,
So we're like the only magazine there. So that's
Perfect.
kind of but we're also at all the libraries, the YMCA's, fitness centers,
Okay.
hospitals, doctors' offices, schools.
Great.
Pretty much anywhere where parents frequent on a regular basis, we are there.
free publication.
It's all free.
Okay.
Our thanks to our advertisers.
Of course, the ads.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, got to keep it going. I think that's excellent. And you're right. I am one that I do like to read books as books still, and pick up a newspaper and pick up a magazine. But
Tangible.
That's not always it.
Yeah.
I do. I love it because I read scripts. So I like to have things in my hand. But yeah.
Well, and the
but
other thing
you
is
know,
that we can use it, which we are now, is when we have a digital campaign.
Yeah.
We could do a QR code in the magazine and say, check out our guide to this.
Yes, and that's
so we
very
do a lot
popular
of that
now
as
too,
well.
the QR codes.
So we're
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
combining the print and the digital.
Good. We'll stay in print.
Yes, we will. In
Please.
fact, I will say one more thing, and that
Yes.
is, in the 40 years I've had the magazines, we've never missed an issue. And when I say that, I'm very proud of the
Yeah.
fact that in May and June of 2020, we were the only parenting publication that printed. So I was just like, how
Made
can we
it through
get these
COVID.
out? We
Yeah.
we bought mailing lists. We mailed them. We just
Oh my
we never
gosh,
stopped.
good.
So I'm very proud of the fact that we never missed an issue.
Is
in
it once
40
a
years.
month? Is
Congratulations.
it once a month? That's the November issue, obviously. This is January of this year.
Uh-huh.
Great, once a month. So go.
I got
and-
one more little question.
But
Yeah.
get your Indy Child magazines everywhere that she just listed.
Yes.
Okay, go Scott.
What is your
This is-
current main role?
Oh, you're
no, it's not
okay.
the question.
I
of the
know. I
week.
was getting all set for the question of the week.
But I'm curious, what part of the artistic element of the magazine do you still get to play with in your position currently?
Well, I'm the publisher, so I kind of oversee all of it. So, like just this morning, we were meeting as a team talking about our editorial topics for March. So I have my hand in all of it. The covers, I'm pretty much
The buck stops with you still.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, I'm pretty flexible.
Yeah.
So my team knows if they're like, no, we don't like that idea. You're crazy. I'll be like, okay. So I count on my whole team. We're one happy family.
Right.
There's no I in team.
Exactly.
I know. It's an old saying, right? Oldie
Yes.
but a goodie.
Makes a good boss. That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what?
Absolutely.
That's
Then
for
it makes
sure.
happy employees too, or
Yes.
happy team.
Yes.
I don't
Exactly.
even like to call them employees.
No, but you're
Yeah.
right. It does. All right,
Yeah.
Scotty, hit
Well,
us.
I got you for the question of the week, and I was wondering what your favorite childhood activity was in, comparison of what you write about.
Not tennis.
Not tennis. Yeah.
I would say I used to go up to Max and Cucky when I was a little girl with my best friend's family, and I would spend a lot of time there. And I just those are my summer memories. Every summer, pretty much spending time at Lake Max and Cucky.
I was going to say something insanely similar, but mine was on Lake Morris, and it was tubing and jet skiing as a kid, and, having friends up to the condo, and that was a whole lineage of experiences.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I don't
So-
know, an activity. Like, can it be like an activity? I know with these questions of the week, I'm always getting nitpicky. Like just a fun, nothing that you like was your main hobby, but like an activity.
Yeah, just something you did. Riding a bike.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to go with it. We rode our bikes everywhere. I loved riding my bikes. Yeah, I loved it. And I still do because I take spinning now. So
Okay.
I love it. I've always loved just getting on a bike, and we would ride everywhere. It was the days where you just get on your bike.
Right.
And we would go all over town. Like not even my mother's like, "Bye, see you later."
See you for dinner.
Be back at
Yeah.
dinner. Training. And we just take off, and I did. I loved riding bikes. I'm going with it. I'm sticking. That's
Well,
my story.
and I'll just say one more quick thing of that is that
Yeah.
I did have 5 brothers and no sisters.
Oh,
So
that's a
I
dynamic.
was always trying to figure out where I was going to go because I wanted to get away from them. I mean, I love them, but
But I need to be out.
Oh my God. Well, Mary, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was
Kudos to
great.
you. Congratulations on 40 years of this publication. Indy's
fantastic.
Child, you can get it anywhere. Mary rattled off a list of where to get it. The Children's Museum, that's the big place. Solely. That's the only
Mm-hmm.
publication at the Children's Museum. And it is free, comes out once a month. And thank you so much.
Thank
and the
you.
best of luck with the publication.
Thank you.
and your family lineage in it.
We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Hotel Carmichael and Fine Signs, for letting us use this facility. And
it is beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful facility.
Yes, come see a show here. You won't be disappointed.
Not at all.
Yes. So I am Cynthia Collins.
And I'm Scott Osborne. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.